say, as a whole album in its entirety, it was well produced. It was well mixed. It sounds phenomenal. Now, have you listened, Jason? Did you listen to that album with a quality set of headphones, or did you listen on in your car radio?
I've listened to it so many damn times, Biv, between when it came out and even. What's funny is when it came out, I listened to it a bunch of times. And then as we had, more albums to review, I let it kind of go away for a bit. And then in anticipation of doing this review again on this episode, I've listened to it for the last couple of days again. And by the way, just to let you know, my score has actually increased from, had I done the review in December to now. Like, it's better with age. It's so incredibly, but I've listened to it in every way you can. I've listened to it with, like my $200 pair of headphones. I've listened to it in my car. I've listened to it just through my phone speaker. I've listened to it in every way you can almost.
Okay, well, I'm going to say this. Now, as you know, and on this show and in our private discussions in years past, I've always said that you get a totally different feel listening to it on headphones than you do on it, even on a quality stereo system. Because you pick things up that you'd never pick up. And this is one of those albums. Don't get me wrong, it sounds great on a quality stereo system. But I have a great pair of headphones. And when I put those on, they're the over-the-ear type, not the, in-ear or over-the-ear, but, you know what I mean? These wrap the entire ear in. And it's a great set of headphones. The difference is striking. And the musicianship is amazing. I can't say enough about this CD. Had I reviewed this, to your point, 6, 8, 10 weeks ago when it came out, which has been out now about 2.5 months, right?
No. It came out in December.
No, it came out in October.
No.
Yeah, it came out October 28th. But that's beside the point.
Anyway, whatever.
The bottom line is, had I rated it then, it's much different. Because as I've continued to listen to it, I appreciate the musicianship more and more and more. I'm now giving this a 9 out of 10.
Wow. Well, let me go through this a little bit, not necessarily track by track, but again, you know where Jason's going to go with this. You just heard the song itself, Brotherhood of the Snake. Title track, opening track, starts off the album better than any song could. When the first words out of my mouth when I heard this song was "holy shit." It's a thrash riff, and within 15 seconds you have blast beats. Yes, please. I'll take that all day. Chuck Billy sounding more like pissed off and just better than ever. I mean, his vocals are just raspy but clean, and he's one of those metal singers that you don't need to study the lyric sheet to know what he's saying. You can understand every word. It's just an absolute kick-ass song, man. And you have the Pale King, which comes in after that. Peterson just writes some incredible riffs. I mean, he's right up there with, like, Gary Holt as far as thrash metal riff writers that are just the best that no one talks about but should. I'd take him over Scotty in any day of the week. He's just incredibly awesome. Another thrasher on the Pale King. Stronghold. Really great song. Great solo from Alex on this song. Gene Hoglan, of course, behind the kit. Again, with Testament, he's been in and out of the band, but the guy just kills it. To your point, Seven Seals is great. Born in a Rut's good. Centuries of Suffering absolutely rules. It's faster than hell. It's thrashy. I love that shit. Cannabis is good. Neptune Spear is great. The Number Game, to your point, closes out the album. Has a very, almost Metallica-like build-up. Like old Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning build-up to a song. And it just kind of has a mid-'80s, like, Rain in Blood Slayer riff throughout. Insane double bass. Ends the album heavier than hell. This is an absolute thrashterpiece, as I'll say, because this is thrash at its best. Absolute instant classic, without a doubt. You can listen to this album one time and go, holy shit, like I did. You listen to it again, and it's better and better and better and better. When I would have done this review when it first came out, I would have been 9 to 9.5 material. Right now, in my world, and I don't do this very often, this is a perfect album. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. And what makes me laugh is that we can't get enough of patting Metallica on the back for making better than average stuff they've done. And you talked about this earlier. Anthrax had an album in 2016. It was good. Don't get me wrong. Dystopia came out from Megadeth. Very good. Don't get me wrong. Hardwired came out. Pretty good album, especially for Metallica. Best shit they've done in 20 years. But when it comes to old school Bay Area thrash bands, Testament kicks all of their ass, and it's not even close. Not even close. This would have been Album of the Year material for me had we included it and had we reviewed it in 2016. I almost wanted to make it my Album of the Year, even though we didn't actually review it in 2016 on the show. But dude, unbelievable album. Killer, killer, killer. If you like Testament, there's no freaking way you don't love this album. If you don't like Testament, what in the hell is wrong with you? You can start out with this album as your entry level to their stuff and then go back and listen to 30 years of stuff. This is as good, if not better, than anything they've ever done. It's killer. Don't hesitate. If you haven't bought it, buy it right freaking now. That's it. 10 out of 10. Instant classic. Killer album. Case closed. All right, Biv, I know we're recording the podcast tonight, so we can't because it's already getting kind of late. But tomorrow, if you're free, if you're okay with this, and I know we've talked about it for a long time, but it's one of those bucket list things. We've been talking about it for years. Dude, F it. Let's do it. Let's go to space. What do you say?
I'm in.
Because that's what I always say to my friends. And I go, let's go to space, and we don't have rockets, don't have fuel. You know, we don't need rules. Let's go to space. Yeah, that's the song you just heard. Let's go to space. That's from the most recent album and the first album, the debut album from Space Unicorn on Fire. Yeah, that's the name of the band. Off their first album, Gallop Through the Stars. And this is one of those reviews when you're going through and you're going, okay, 2017, not a lot of releases that are out there that I know of that we're listening to that have been released. What's something we could check out that's a blind draw? A band that sounds interesting. Let's see what you got. And you can't get much more interesting, at least name-wise, than the name of your band being Space Unicorn on Fire. So, behind the scenes, I'm telling Biv, yeah, we're going to review Space Unicorn on Fire's album. He's like, what? So, little bit more intro on that, but they're from Slovenia. This is their first album. You can tell they're clearly, English is not their first language. Let's just put it that way. But, it's surprising. I have my thoughts and opinions on Space Unicorn on Fire, but Biv, besides the name, which I know you love, what did you think of Gallop Through the Stars? What did you think of their first album that they've done?
Well, first of all, Space Unicorn on Fire is both the best name and the worst name I've ever heard at the same time for a metal band. I don't know how you can be both, but they managed to achieve it.
They did.
So they did, because it's just horribly bad, and it's just so bad that it's good. So I don't know what to make of that other than it just is what it is. Now, having said that, the first track, from the very first track that I heard, which I'm not talking about the intro track, track one. I'm talking about Let's Go to Space, the second track, which is actually the first real track of the CD. As soon as I heard the vocalist, I immediately thought of the scene. Now, Jason, did you see the movie Clerks, the Kevin Smith movie?
No, I haven't seen the whole thing of it.
You're one of the few people. Yeah, you're one of the few people on the planet that has.
Well, hold on, and I don't want to get off topic here, but I know of friends of mine who get angry at the movies I've not seen. That's one of them. Okay,
well, I'm not angry, but I will say this. There's a scene with Jay and Silent Bob, and they're standing outside the convenience store, and they're trying to pick up some chicks. And they've got this guy who's just over from Russia, and his name is Olaf, and he's a heavy metal singer. And they're like, Olaf, Bezerker. And then he just starts singing Bezerker in like this really bad Russian accent, but it's English, and it's bad English. And that's exactly what I think of when I heard this, this vocalist sing.
Olaf, Bezerker. Come on, man, Berserker.
Is he singing English or Russian?
In English, come on, Bezerker, girls think sexy.
My love for you is like a truck Bezerker. Would you like some making fuck Bezerker?
And don't get me wrong, he does an admirable job in the singing itself, but to your point, English is clearly not his first language, and the lyrics are not written as though it's their first language. But that being said, they've got some kick-ass riffs. So let's go to space. Great tempo. Great way to start an album after the obligatory, 90-second intro track. Dreamers is really good, enjoyable throughout. They do a piano-driven ballad. I believe it's called Blitzo Vikasny.
Yeah, they have.
If I'm saying
they
correct.
have 4 songs that are clear. I'm guessing, and I don't know this, but there are 4 songs with titles that are in Russian and they're sang in Russian as well.
Right, exactly.
And that's fine.
One of them.
Yeah, no, that's one of them.
Because they have an audience to play to as well.
Sure,
and it's beautiful. It's very well written. Shooting Stars might be my favorite on the whole album. And then, how can you go wrong with Mr. Romantic?
I want you to know, Biv, is that the next time I want to pick up a chick, I'm going to say, listen, lady, listen, baby, I have so much passion. I have so much passion in my balls. I could paint your walls, just so you know.
I mean, if that doesn't get bitches, I don't know what does.
I don't know what is. Name a woman. Next time we have Lacey on the show, we should ask her if that would work for her in a bar. I'm guessing it would.
Oh, well, I think it'd make any chick moist. I mean, with lyrics like that, I don't know how you could go wrong. And then, August Blues, another well-done ballad. But this isn't just ballads. I mean, it's some really good keyboard work. The guitar is adequate. Although I won't say it's going to blow you away, it's well-written. So I think as this band continues to develop, it may get more complex. It may develop a little bit further, but they are what they are, and they're very good at what they are. So, I was very impressed after getting past the name. I think the hard part for them right now is breaking through to that English-speaking audience, just because of the roughness, a little bit of the Russian accent, and the lyrics, which are a bit predictable and cheesy, but it's a good, interesting, fun debut. Let's face it, from an area of the world that we don't normally talk about when we think about metal. So, that being said, I'm giving it a happy 7.5 out of 10.
Well, let me tell you what. I mean, for the love of God, from a lyric standpoint, I mean, we can knock them all we want. We can, make the name. When your name of the band is Space Unicorn on Fire, you're not clearly taking yourself very seriously, and they even say that themselves, and that's okay. On their Bandcamp site, they say that some metal acts sing about Satan. We sing about women, space, and surfing on sharks. So, I mean, they come out and say, dude, we're going to have fun with what we do, and damn it, good for you guys. The actual... we just played Space Unicorn on Fire, and it's a name of a band that screams power metal, first of all. And they are, for the most part, but that's space. Let's Go to Space, I should say, is a real standout track, is one, but, that's a song that's very power metal-ish, but as a band overall, it's very power metal, but there's a lot of proggy parts to it, and a lot of Jan Warman, almost Jordan Rudess like keyboard stuff going on in certain songs as well. That actually really kind of plays maybe 20% prog to like 80% power metal there. But again, like
exactly,
I said,
it's not overly proggy at all.
No, but there's definite elements to it. Like Let's Go to Space, for example, very old Ed Guy-ish, and vocally. I get a lot of Labrie in times. I really do. I mean, if you take the accent out, and I'm not talking older Labrie, but like newer Labrie, it actually sounds kind of like him to me. I'd ask you to go back and listen to it again, and you may think maybe I'm crazy or not, but I really see that. But I mean, Let's Go to Space is a pretty goddamn good song. Double Helix it slows things down a bit. Great keyboard solo, another good song. Like you said, Dreamers is there, definite power metal track. And then, Blitzu Vignosti